Something big is happening inside the Toronto Maple Leafs organization, and fans are wondering if this is finally the change they have been waiting for. After years of playoff heartbreak, Toronto has completely changed the people making the biggest decisions. But the real question is, will this new era finally bring a championship or create another disaster? For years, Toronto has been one of the most talented teams in the NHL, but talent alone has not been enough. The pressure has continued to grow because fans do not want another successful regular season. They want playoff success. They want a team that can finally compete when the biggest moments arrive. The Maple Leafs started a new chapter in their hockey operations department by bringing in new leadership. John Chayka was named the team's new general manager, while Maple Leafs legend Mats Sundin returned to the organization as senior executive advisor, hockey operations. Chayka became the person responsible for leading important hockey decisions, including how the team evaluates players, builds the roster, and plans for the future. The organization also added Judd Brackett as assistant general manager, player evaluation, giving him a major role in scouting and player evaluation. Toronto has been under pressure for years because many fans believe the team needed a better system for building a complete roster. The criticism was not only about star players. It was about finding the right balance between stars, depth players, prospects, and future talent. The Leafs were not simply replacing names on an office list. They were trying to create a new way of making decisions. The organization also moved toward a stronger focus on information and player evaluation. Before hiring new leadership, Toronto made it clear that data and modern decision-making would be important qualities for the future of hockey operations. But changing the people behind the scenes is only the first step. The real challenge is proving that these decisions can create results on the ice. A successful team is not built with only superstar players. It needs the right mix of skill, toughness, depth, goaltending, and players who can perform in difficult situations. For years, critics have questioned whether Toronto had the right balance. Some believed the team relied too heavily on its biggest stars, while others felt the roster needed more support around those players. John Chayka's background brings a different style of thinking to Toronto. He has experience using scouting, player evaluation, and modern hockey analysis to make decisions. The Maple Leafs are hoping this approach can help them find value players and make smarter moves in trades and free agency. But there's also another important part of this new era: the development of young talent. Organizations that consistently win usually have strong player development systems. Finding talented young players is only part of the job. Teams must also help those players improve and become NHL ready. This is why additions like Judd Brackett's player evaluation role are important. A strong scouting department can help a team discover players who may become important pieces in the future. The Maple Leafs are trying to build a stronger foundation, not just chase short-term success. However, fans in Toronto are not known for having unlimited patience. The pressure will be high because this franchise has been searching for a championship for decades. Every decision made by the new front office will be analyzed. Every trade, every signing, and every roster move will be judged. The question is simple: can this new leadership group finally create a team that wins when it matters most? The Maple Leafs have changed the people making the decisions. They have created a new structure and a new plan for the future. But now comes the hardest part. They must prove that this change is more than just another announcement. Because in Toronto, fans have heard promises before. They have seen talented teams before. They have watched exciting seasons end in disappointment. This time, the expectation is different. The Maple Leafs are not looking for another successful regular season. They are looking for a team that can compete for the Stanley Cup. And if this new front office can finally build that kind of team, this could become one of the most important changes in franchise history. But if the results do not come, the same question will return. Was this really the beginning of a new era, or just another chapter in the Maple Leafs' long search for success? One simple photo has Maple Leafs fans talking again, and the internet is filled with one big question. Why were Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews standing together after everything that happened? The images spread fast. Emotions exploded. And fans started wondering if this reunion means more than just friendship. But before jumping to conclusions, there's an important part of this story that almost everyone is missing. Mitch Marner may now wear the colors of the Vegas Golden Knights, but one recent post reminded hockey fans of his years with the Toronto Maple Leafs. During the NHL offseason, Marner shared a group of photos from his summer on social media. At first, the pictures looked like normal offseason memories, but one photo quickly caught everyone's attention. It showed Marner standing with Austin Matthews and several former Maple Leafs teammates during Frederik Andersen's wedding celebration. Within hours, the picture was being shared across hockey pages, and fans everywhere started talking about what it could mean. For many Maple Leafs fans, seeing Marner and Matthews together again brought back a lot of memories. The two stars spent years playing on the same team. They celebrated exciting wins, fought through tough playoff losses, and became two of the biggest faces of the franchise. Even though Marner has now started a new chapter with the Vegas Golden Knights, the friendship between the former teammates was clear in the wedding photos. The smiles and relaxed moments show that time together away from the ice can still bring old teammates together. The wedding itself made the reunion even more special. Frederik Andersen was not just another teammate. During his years with Toronto, Andersen became one of the team's most trusted goalies and shared many important moments with both Marner and Matthews. Over the years, Andersen and Marner have spoken warmly about their friendship. Even after Andersen left Toronto, they stayed in touch. That made his wedding the perfect place for former teammates to meet again, celebrate together, and enjoy time away from hockey. As the photos spread online, fans quickly began creating their own stories. Some people wondered if the reunion meant Marner missed Toronto. Others asked if Matthews wanted his former teammate back with the Maple Leafs one day. A few even suggested that something bigger could be happening behind the scenes. But it is important to separate excitement from facts. There has been no announcement about Marner returning to Toronto. There has been no report of contract talks, trade discussions, or secret meetings. The gathering happened because close friends came together to celebrate a wedding, not because of NHL business. It is also important to understand what these photos do not mean. Since Marner joined the Vegas Golden Knights, some fans have hoped he could return to Toronto one day. Others have wondered if he still keeps in touch with his former teammates. The wedding photos answered one question: yes, the friendships are still there. But they did not answer another question that many fans continue asking. There has been no official report that Marner wants to return to the Maple Leafs. There have been no trade talks announced, no contract discussions, and no sign that this reunion had anything to do with hockey business. It was a private celebration shared with friends. Frederik Andersen's wedding gave everyone a chance to step away from the pressure of the NHL. During the season, players compete against each other and focus on helping their own teams win. But away from the ice, many players remain close friends. That is exactly what fans saw in these pictures. They saw former teammates laughing together, celebrating an important day, and enjoying time with people who have shared years of memories. Sometimes, the strongest hockey stories are not about goals or championships. They are about the friendships that continue long after teammates go their separate ways. Still, it is easy to understand why Leafs fans became emotional. For years, Marner and Matthews were two of the biggest stars in Toronto. Many supporters believed that group had everything needed to win the Stanley Cup. Although that dream never became reality, fans still remember the excitement those teams created. Seeing Marner standing beside Matthews again reminded many people of what could have been. That feeling alone was enough to make the photos spread across social media and hockey news pages within hours. As more fans reacted online, one thing became clear. This reunion was about respect, friendship, and shared history. It was not about making headlines with a surprise announcement. Sometimes, a single picture can bring back years of memories without anyone saying a word. That is exactly what happened here. Mitch Marner's post reminded the hockey world that while jerseys may change and careers may move in different directions, real friendships often remain the same. For now, the facts are clear. Mitch Marner is focused on his future with the Vegas Golden Knights. Austin Matthews remains the leader of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Frederik Andersen celebrated one of the happiest days of his life, surrounded by friends and former teammates. Beyond that, there is no confirmed hockey news hidden inside these photos. But one simple reunion has reminded everyone why this former Maple Leafs core is still one of the most talked about groups in the NHL, and fans will continue watching every interaction between these familiar faces. The Toronto Maple Leafs are making headlines again, but this isn't the trade anyone expected. A former first-round pick with an unbelievable comeback story is suddenly being connected to Toronto. Why are experts talking about this move now, and what could it mean for the Leafs? The Toronto Maple Leafs are once again at the center of NHL trade talk, but this time the name getting everyone's attention is not a superstar. Instead, it is Washington Capitals forward Ivan Miroshnichenko. A new report says hockey analysts believe Toronto should try to trade for the young winger before the new NHL season begins. While there's no official trade being discussed between the two teams, the idea has quickly become one of the biggest offseason conversations among Leafs fans. The question is simple. Could this be the hidden move that helps Toronto become a stronger team? Ivan Miroshnichenko is only 22 years old, but his hockey journey has already been filled with challenges. Before the 2022 NHL draft, many scouts believed he was one of the best young players available. Then everything changed when he was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma. It was a difficult moment that could have ended his hockey dream. Instead of giving up, Miroshnichenko fought through treatment, recovered, and returned to the ice. His determination inspired people across the hockey world, and the Washington Capitals still believed in his talent enough to select him in the first round of the draft. Since joining the Capitals organization, Miroshnichenko has spent most of his time developing with the Hershey Bears in the American Hockey League, while also earning opportunities in the NHL. He is known for playing with strength, using his powerful shot, and working hard around the front of the net. Coaches like his physical style, and many scouts still believe he has the potential to become a reliable NHL goal scorer. Even though his NHL opportunities have been limited so far, many people believe there is much more to his game than fans have seen. But here is where the story becomes even more interesting. There is still one major question nobody can answer. If Miroshnichenko has so much potential, why would the Washington Capitals even consider letting him go? That question has created a huge debate among hockey fans, and the possible answer could completely change the way this trade rumor is viewed. The biggest reason this trade idea is getting so much attention is because of Washington's current roster. The Capitals have several forwards fighting for NHL spots, making it difficult for every young player to get regular ice time. Sometimes a talented prospect needs a fresh start with another team to reach his full potential. That is why some analysts believe Toronto could take advantage of the situation. It is important to remember, though, that there is no report saying Washington is actively trying to trade Ivan Miroshnichenko. Right now, this is an idea being discussed by hockey writers and analysts, not a confirmed deal. For the Maple Leafs, this type of move could make sense. Toronto's management has shown that it wants to stay competitive while also getting younger. Instead of spending big money on another veteran player, adding a young forward with room to grow could be a smart, long-term decision. Miroshnichenko is still on an affordable contract, which is valuable for a team that has to carefully manage its salary cap. If he develops into a consistent scorer, the Leafs could gain a quality player without giving up a major part of their future. Of course, every trade comes with risk. Miroshnichenko has shown flashes of his talent, but he has not yet played a full NHL season as an everyday player. That means nobody knows exactly how he would perform with bigger minutes against the league's best competition. Toronto would have to believe that its coaches and development staff could help unlock the next level of his game. If that happens, the move could look brilliant. If it does not, fans may wonder whether the team should have chased a more proven player instead. Another question fans are asking is what Toronto would need to give up. At this point, there is no confirmed trade package. Some people believe a mid-round draft pick or a young prospect could be enough, while others think Washington would ask for more because of Miroshnichenko's potential. Toronto just made a move so risky that it could change the future of the whole franchise forever. After a shocking drama behind closed doors, management pulled off a secret deal nobody expected. Now fans are completely divided, and one question is hanging over everything. Did this bold gamble save the team, or start a disaster they can never escape. The Toronto Maple Leafs are entering a completely new era. After a painful regular season that saw them miss the playoffs, the front office knew big changes had to happen. The entire fan base demanded answers, and management responded by tearing down old habits to rebuild from the ground up. New general manager John Chayka took charge and immediately set a bold tone for the summer. With a clock ticking on Austin Matthews' contract window, the front office could not afford to play it safe. The turning point came when Lady Luck smiled on Toronto during the draft lottery. Moving up to land, the #1 overall pick gave this team a golden ticket. Selecting phenom winger Gavin McKenna instantly changed the energy around the entire city. McKenna is not just another prospect. He is a dynamic playmaker who dominated college hockey at Penn State after breaking records in Major Junior. His elite vision and high-speed passing make him the perfect partner for elite goal scorers. Experts believe placing McKenna next to Austin Matthews will give Toronto one of the most dangerous top lines in hockey. However, drafting a miracle rookie was only the first piece of a much larger puzzle. The front office spent the rest of the offseason clearing out underperforming players to fix serious roster gaps. After losing key pieces like Mitch Marner in previous years, the lineup suffered from a complete lack of balance and scoring depth. To fix this, Chayka went aggressive in the market. The Leafs landed veteran goaltender Sergei Bobrovsky to give the team stability in net. They also brought in tough, reliable skaters like Darren Radish, Nick Paul, and Colton Sissons. These additions bring championship experience and defensive toughness to a locker room that desperately needed leadership. Gavin McKenna changes that dynamic completely. As an elite passer with incredible ice vision, McKenna forces opposing defensemen to make a hard choice. If they double-team Matthews, McKenna will thread a pass through traffic to an open teammate. If they drop back to cover passing lanes, McKenna has the quick hands and speed to drive straight to the net himself. This balance is exactly what Jim Hiller's new offensive system requires. Hiller built a reputation for designing lethal power plays, and adding McKenna to the top unit gives Toronto a dynamic quarterback on the half wall. Paired with Morgan Rielly at the point and William Nylander on the opposite flank, the Leafs finally have the elite passing weapons needed to punish teams that take penalties. While the offense looks explosive on paper, the real tests will happen on the defensive end. Sergei Bobrovsky gives Toronto an experienced big-game goalie, but he cannot fix structural team flaws by himself. In recent years, the Leafs struggled with turnovers in their own zone and allowed too many high-danger shots. The additions of veteran defensemen like Darren Radish and hard-nosed forwards like Colton Sissons are meant to clean up those exact mistakes. Their job is simple: clear the net front area, win board battles, and transition the puck quickly up to the speed-driven top six. However, playing in Toronto comes with heavy pressure that can crush unprepared teams. An 18-year-old rookie, even a generational talent like McKenna, will face constant media coverage and massive fan expectations from night one. Furthermore, the front office has made it clear that missing the playoffs again is completely unacceptable. Management cleared out cap space and spent big assets this summer to win immediately, not 3 years down the road. If this new system clicks early, Toronto could rapidly shoot back up the standings and challenge the top teams in the Eastern Conference. But if chemistry takes too long to build, or if injuries strike the top line again, the front office will face intense criticism for blowing their salary cap flexibility. The foundation is set, the roster is rebuilt, and the stakes have never been higher. All eyes now turn to opening night to see if this high-risk strategy pays off or completely explodes. Nobody expected this move, and now the entire hockey world is asking the same question. John Chayka promised to build a stronger Maple Leafs team around Austin Matthews, but one decision has divided fans and analysts across the NHL. Did Toronto finally create a true Stanley Cup contender? Or did Chayka leave, one major problem unsolved? When John Chayka became the new general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, everyone knew change was coming. But very few people expected him to reshape the team so quickly. Instead of making one or two small moves, Chayka changed several important parts of the roster. He brought in new players, added more size and experience, and tried to build a team that could survive the long and difficult road to the Stanley Cup. His message was clear. Toronto has had one of the best goal scorers in the world in Austin Matthews, yet the team has continued to fall short in the playoffs. Every offseason, fans hope the front office will find the missing piece that can help Matthews lead the team to a championship. This summer, all eyes turned to John Chayka. Chayka